Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign that's finishing up in the next week, and I thought that this would be the last episode for the year, but I think there's going to be enough finishing up in the following week that we're going to do the last episode next week, and we'll cover anything that's, finishing up in January and beyond, giving a little bit more leeway, especially with some things like Emerland, and I want to give myself a chance to play Silverfrost again while I have Emerland on my lips and thighs. What? No, on my hips and minds. What? No. I love Emerland. That's what I'm trying to say. But we've got a whole bunch of great games to cover, or maybe they're horrible. Probably that one this week, so let's get into it. But before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patrons, Dooley and Tim. Thank you so much for jumping on board and supporting the channel. And thanks to Shardius and Hextra for the additional support. I mentioned this briefly the last episode, in that my other job is going to sort of be scaling me back a little bit. It's not quite fired, but it kind of feels a little bit like it. So I definitely appreciate all the support on Patreon. That's going to be huge going forward into the new year. If you're an existing patron, well, you are here added to this wheel of names. I'm going to be giving out a $25 gift card to say thank you to Into the AM. They gave me a bunch of gift cards, and I've been giving away one or two if I get excited every week until the end of the year. So we're still going to be doing that every Monday. And yeah, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to all my patrons, because you're very significant to me, just as people, and I really appreciate the support. So let's do it. Let's spin. Let's see who's winning this week. Ooh, I'm excited. I love giving stuff away. This is fun. Okay, who do we got? We've got Yuval! Yuval, my neighbor and not friend Yuval. You know what? How many more weeks do we have? It feels like I need to give out another one here. I have 5 left. Carry the 1. Need to look at a calendar. I think I can give out 1 more. I think I'll have enough. Yes, I'll have just enough to give out 2 this time. So yeah, Yuval, I'm going to contact Yuval to see if he wants it. But yeah, Yuval is my neighbor and not friend. So I guess there's no problem in me giving him a gift certificate, because he's not really a friend at all. Sorry, Yuval. Okay, Yuval's going to get one, and we're going to give another one as well. Who do we got coming up? We got Melinda Humphreys. Congratulations, you just won a $25 code to Into the AM as well. We'll send those codes out to you later. I do have to say, like, again, I talk about Into the AM all the time. It's literally just because they gave me some gift cards, and this isn't sponsored whatsoever. Not sponsored. In fact, they don't sponsor me anymore, but they are going to send me clothes. And I didn't think I would like their hoodie, but their hoodie's really light. I don't like hoodies that don't zip up. I generally never wear them, but this, and like my Shakespeare by the Sea one, this falls into like the right category of just light enough to not be so overwhelmingly hot that like you're taking it on and taking it off and taking it on. As much as I know all of you would love to see that, you perverts. Okay, let's get into the week. We're going to start with something that sucks, and that is the Mayday Games Crokinole boards. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Straight up, don't do it. Mayday Games sucks. I already did a video about Mayday Games and how much they suck, which I will link in the comments down below. Allegedly, they just like take other people's photos and are like, yeah, these are the boards. And what was so funny is before I took a screenshot of this, because I knew I was scrolling on Instagram. And let me come back to you. I was scrolling on Instagram and I got an ad for a Crokinole board. And then I looked at the corner. This, when you click through, it goes to the Mayday Games. I was like, I'm for sure this is Mayday Games, because they're just like, when you look at the corner of that, that's a bent Crokinole board, isn't it? And this one, it's like a really poorly edited one. I have no faith that these are even real Crokinole boards. I don't. Allegedly, they're not. Like, look at this friggin' garbage, warped picture that maybe AI made a Crokinole board, maybe it was touched up with AI, or maybe they were editing out some other people's branding, because that's what they did before with their ones from Tracy Boards. They had a whole thing where they just took Tracy Boards, like Tracy Boards is a Canadian Crokinole provider, they took Tracy Board's logo just off of the Tracy Board and put that picture on their site and were like, this is the product you're getting. And to be fair, they also did take Tracy Boards and send them to their manufacturer in China and said, hey, can you make like a version of this? Because this is actually a good quality product. I know this for a fact. People emailed me anonymously after the last video and said that they overheard Seth Hyatt, who's the founder of Mayday Games, bragging about how they did that. And they've done it again as well. Because if you go to this Reddit thread where they decided to release a brand new carrying case for their Crokinole board, which is great. You know, you want a Crokinole bag to carry your board around. Sure. And this is just a complete ripoff from Brown Castle Games as well. What a surprise. This is coming from the same person who allegedly owned the reason why Sleeve Kings exists is because he used to own a sleeve company with his spouse and then they divorced and he didn't want to give her the income from their shared company. And so he made a new company so that he didn't have to get around that. Allegedly. That's what I've heard. Like this is the guy who I'm sure will try to add me on Facebook again after I put out this video in what is an incredibly unprofessional way to go about trying to contact somebody. If you want to contact me, my contact information is in the description of every video. Don't find me on Facebook at my personal account. Thanks very much. Because you'll just get deleted and I'm not going to talk to you. Yeah, here's a statement. You can look it up. Also put this whole thread in the comments down below. My patrons put me onto it as well. And to be fair, like people don't necessarily have copyright infringement, copyright protection on a bag or copyright on a product that people can't just take products. They can't just take the product and make a shittier version. That happens all the time. We see bootleg stuff all the time. But like, yeah, this is what Stephen Brown says. I'm just going to read the whole thing. It's November 2025, and Mayday Games has released a brand new Crokinole padded carrying case to go with their Kickstarter. It's an insanely better improvement on their previous Kickstarter. This one has pockets. Lots of pockets. We love pockets. 4 zipper, large pockets in the front can fit all your discs, spray, fast powder, 20 tubes, etc. If you look inside the case, there's also a pocket on the inside for tournament scorecards, documents, or a wooden scorekeeper. Rather than a single hand grip like their previous model, this one has 3 grips along the length of the carrying case with reinforced studs. The middle handle is perfect to give you an additional handhold while using the shoulder strap. There are pads to protect the bag too. One pad on the side of the bag protects the board if you set it down when using the shoulder strap. The other pad on the side protects it when you're pulling your Crokinole board from the case. What about if you lay the case down on its back? There are 4 rubber bumpers to protect it that way too. This padded carrying case is honestly as good as they come, but you may be wondering, why is someone from Brown Castle Games telling you all about the features on Mayday's new carrying case? Well, it's because I'm the one that designed it. It's the padding carrying case I created and I've been improving over these past 5 years. Mayday Games did not just steal ideas to improve their product, they purchased our product in North America and had it shipped to China to be counterfeited. They copied it down to the same logo placement on the carrying case. I'm honestly surprised they didn't print our company logo on the bags on accident, since every other detail is identical down to the document pouch with Velcro on the inside. That was a feature that we added back in 2021. While it may be the most blatant thievery, sadly this is not new behavior from Mayday Games. For their previous Kickstarter, they purchased boards from other North American companies and had them shipped to China to be duplicated in Chinese factories. Mayday even uploaded their competitor's Crokinole board photo on their main webpage instead of doing their own product photography. After backlash from the community, they eventually removed the photo and released a statement saying it was an accident. What about the Mayday Elite Crokinole wall mount hardware that it's offered with their Kickstarter? Surely this was an original Mayday design. Also stolen. This wall mount was purchased from a Canadian board game maker and shipped to China to be counterfeited and reproduced at a lower cost to undercut the original designer. Produced exactly identical to the Canadian designed wall mount. The first photo of their Kickstarter states, Mayday is the authority on Crokinole in the US. We have sold thousands of boards across the world. We're the only company in the USA offering Crokinole boards at affordable prices. We're the only quality choice for Crokinole bards in the US. Out of those 4 statements, only one is true. Kickstarter prices tend to look really good because they can hide their additional post-campaign charges. Backers will pay an additional $50 shipping charge to get the board. Did you order 2 to 3? Then you'll pay $75 to $100 more than the Kickstarter price shown. Brown Castle boards are made in the US and ship free in the US. My post today was indeed to let myself emotionally vent and also show others what kind of company they're doing business with when they purchase from Seth Hyatt and Mayday Games. They offer no new innovation to the Crokinole community and instead steal others' hard work and development. The company apparently has no line that they won't cross in order to take money to line their pockets. I realize the majority of people will never read this. Probably most that read this won't care since they're able to save some money buying Mayday duplicates. But for those that do care about integrity of the companies they support, I appreciate you. Give this post an upvote, and maybe we can get it ranked a little higher in the Google searches. If you feel compelled to share this information where you come across conversations about Crokinole, I thank you for giving potential backers the opportunity to make an informed decision about their purchases this holiday season. Regards, Stephen Brown, the designer of Mayday's Elite Crokinole carrying case. Brown Castle Games. Oh, this is so funny. The Tracy board mount was created and designed specifically for them. Heck, when Mayday first released it, they sent the wrong size screw and ruined several boards before they told people, "Our bad, just go out and buy other screws." They don't have quality control. Get a bad board, you may get a new one, but it'll likely come from someone else who didn't like theirs. Yeah, that's what the video that I made previously. Again, I don't want to rehash everything, but it is worth rehashing about, honestly, what a piece of garbage this company is. I think you suck. You just suck. You just suck because you're unable to be original. You're unable to actually come up with your own original thought and design and prefer to just steal the hard work of other people. This is not surprising. If you Google Seth Hyatt controversies, you can get the story where he worked on a game and that game lost its right, and then a new game with just a brand new title that was basically the same game came out, right? It's not new. These experiences aren't new, but there are so many things and stories that you can find. Alleged stories. Oh, it's alleged. Yeah, Seth, if you're watching this, you seem like kind of a shitty person. And maybe you should go watch A Christmas Carol or something like that, you know? But here's hoping that money can buy happiness, since you probably can't find it in your pathetic, miserable existence, since you have to steal from other hardworking companies. I don't know, just like, if you are interested in Crokinole, literally get it from anybody else. Just anybody. I like that if we go to the comments, a comment that's annoyed is under review for potentially violating Kickstarter's community guideline. So we probably just flagged it. Yeah, I don't know. I just like every single thing that comes out anytime I see another Mayday, I'm just grossed out, you know? And I just think that like you can get a board for $100 and I bet it's probably a good quality board. I bet it's a good enough quality board that you would be happy with your purchase if you want to just stop it and be fine with it there. And I get it, you know? I get that things are really expensive. And sometimes you just want a cheap board and that's the end of it. And that's perfectly fine, you know? Life is hard. It's tough. I'm really surprised that there aren't more comments here, because you just have to assume that comments are getting deleted. Oh, there is a response here. Okay. Yeah, they said, I think you must know that while Crokinole isn't our main business, we love the game and haven't tried to hide the fact that we've been sending high-end custom boards to our factories in China in an effort to offer the Honda Civic of Crokinole boards for the last 12 years. These aren't the high-end boards that you and Tracy and others make, but we try to offer 80% of the quality at less than half the price. The same thing applies to our Ultimate Game Night bags that we did last year on Kickstarter. Did we grab the best bags from All Play, Geekon, and a bunch of other places to try to make the best ones we could? Never heard of All Play. Have heard of BoardGameTables.com. Absolutely. Maybe you will feel that was also ripping off other people. I mean, yeah, you just took their stuff and were like, can you make this? Cool, make it. But all this is based on trying to provide the best value to our customers rather than the absolute highest quality. I realize your mission is much more about quality, so I really hope you can see us and the more than 15,000 boards we've sold in the last 12 years as a rising tide to raise your own boat rather than just a competitor trying to tear you down. How the is that accurate? Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's cool. Hey, yes, I took your stuff, okay? Yes, and yes, I am selling it for cheaper. The exact same thing. And yes, I'm using the reach that I've established to sell your cheaper thing, the exact same thing, and I'm not linking you whatsoever or providing you a credit whatsoever or saying, hey, this was actually designed by this company and we love this company. You can get it from either company. No. Fuck you on that. But what I am doing is getting lots of money for me. And we hope that eventually that will trickle down to you without us providing credit to you whatsoever. That's fair, right? That's fair. Isn't that fair? That seems fair. Come on, that's fair. We know lots of our customers start with a 99 Mayday board and eventually go on to purchase one of your boards. Bullshit. Give me the receipts. Show me those receipts. It should be noted that our 2025 bag is not an evolution of our existing bags. We still offer those. This is a brand new bag because we took it from you and ours was so shit before. Your first picture made it look like we're claiming that it was a natural evolution of our bags, but we never said it was the evolution of our bags, okay? We just said this is a new bag that just happened to fall into our lap. It just came out of thin air. We just figured, oh my goodness, here's a new bag. Where's it from? We don't know. But don't worry about that. It's $10 cheaper. Oh, see, we absolutely did take your bag and a couple Crokinole cases and send it to China to test them and critically look at them and then improve on them where possible. But, you know, that internal pouch that you're talking about, you know, you had a little internal pouch there. Well, we also had an internal pouch. Actually, we had an internal pouch first. So really, who's the one taking whose ideas here, huh? Sure, these new bags are yours down to the exact specifications. Yes, we admit that. We admit it. But that internal pouch, a little zipper pouch that's been on the inside of jackets forever. Nah, you know, let's call it equal, huh? Get out of here. Even this question, this hypothetical question answer with an of course not, is just such a bullshit justification. Did you add the same Velcro pouch to your bag in 2021 because our bags were so popular starting in 2013? Of course not, because having a bag with pockets is pretty standard. And by the way, even though we did take your bag and we took everything that was good about it, we moved the handle. Come on, Brown Castle. We moved the handle. You can't you're basically copying us at this point. And you mentioned the logo. Well, yeah, the logo's in the same spot, but you know, we thought about putting it in a different spot. We decided, no, you had it right the first time. So we kept it, but you can see that we talked about it. Hey, you know what? We talked about it. We contemplated it. Should we make it the same logo? Okay, let's do it. Come on. We changed it. We changed it completely. Buy a Mayday game bag. Oh, they are saying it on the Kickstarter page, eh? A comparable case for $85 is from Brown Castle. It's comparable. But we're doing it better. We're doing it better. Actually, you get a cheaper here. And if you buy with the board, you get even cheaper. So yeah, go buy that piece of shit Brown Castle one if you want. It's comparable. I guess it's comparable. I guess if you looked at the two, you'd find some similarities, I suppose. So they could pay their $85, or they could pay $60 for ours, which is comparable. I mean, yes, we have admitted in other places, not on the Kickstarter page, because, well, why would we do that? Even though we're being so upfront about stealing your bag and sending it to China and just taking the whole design. But why would we put that on the Kickstarter page? No, we just say it's comparable. Get oh my God, this is the worst one. You keep saying that we sent them to China like this is a bad thing. Why? China? Because I live in China. Do you hate China? Do you hate the Chinese people? That's not what they're saying, and nobody in their right mind would ever think that that's the implication of what this guy's saying. He's saying you sent it to a cheaper factory. You sent it to somewhere that can mass produce these things. That's what he's saying. It wouldn't matter if you said you sent it to a different factory. But then the fact that he's like, this right here is such classic straw man bullshit that like only people who are piece of shit people will have to resort to. Sorry. I live in China. In fact, I love China. I love the Chinese economy. Like that's this. I thought I was mad before. This sentence right here. Come on. How anybody can see that this is the most friggin' garbage bullshit that anybody ever could come up with, right? Like this isn't a point. This is purely in here to like try to discredit somebody, to try to put a inception or implication of xenophobia on Brown Castle. Like that's what it is on Stephen Brown. That's 100% why would you ever include this? Why would anybody in their right mind ever think that he's saying, yeah, they send it to China. Like they send it to a factory. It's the same sentence. It's the same thing. Seth Hyatt is deliberately not engaging with this as a point of conversation. Seth Hyatt is doing what he wants to do, which is make himself feel better and make himself look better with any brush. It's the classic, like, throw anything at the wall to hope to discredit your opponent. That's what it is. It's bullshit. Yes, it is a bad thing. The implication is it's not a bad thing because they sent them to China. It's a bad thing because you sent it to a different factory and said, hey, here's somebody's hard work. I want to steal this and I want to make it cheaper so that I can make money. And again, like I would have, the response to this should have just been like, since they're being so upfront about it, they're like, we think people are really good craftsmen and we want to make money and we're just going to take everything that you've worked hard to do and make it cheaper. That's our business model. They could change themselves to knock off games. And I think, you know, I would respect the chutzpah. But when you when you have this bullshit, this obvious, like, oh my God, it's so easy. Like, so a friend of mine has a journalism startup that I've worked for a little bit as his hiring manager. And it's all about fact-based journalism. It's where every single assertion that you make needs to be founded in like a publicly accessible primary source, which I think is awesome. And it is sort of to combat that idea of like fake news and whatever. And the reason being that fake news will never be combatable unless you combat it in a way that like you're just setting a better standard is because it's so easy to spit out nonsense, and the amount of effort and the amount of energy that people have to spend on combating that nonsense tires people out. It wears them down. And this sentence right here is a prime example of the sort of rhetoric garbage that has been spewed forth amongst our airwaves and tires people out. If you find yourself using these arguments, you suck. You just suck as a person because you don't really care about engaging. It's a way to pretend like you are engaging in public discourse, but you aren't really. It's how you play Mafia or Werewolf or Avalon, which is a fun game to do as a game. We were playing text-based Mafia, and I've played a bunch of text-based Mafia, and this is what is known as like misdirecting. You get familiar with rhetorical devices in that way. And this is just like, this is such a straw man, which, if you don't know, is a straw man fallacy. Sometimes written as a straw man is the informal fallacy of refuting an argument different from the one actually under discussion. And it happens so frequently. And it's just such utter garbage bullshit. The actual facts behind the Tracy board photos you can read in our full update 20 from our 2024 campaign. Please read what I wrote back then and read Stephen's quote to make up your own minds on that. Your statement that they were up on our main page and that they were taken down due to community backlash is completely false. Mr. Tracy himself never asserted that. Okay. Again, the issue isn't the timing of when you took the photos or when you made your mistake, when you've made other mistakes in the past, which we're not going to extend you the benefit of the doubt of because you keep on making, oops, I made the mistake, I got caught, whoopsie. No, the issue is that you took someone's photograph with their logo, put it on your page, and then you changed it. When they said, you need to change this, it has Tracy Board's logo on it, you just erased the logo and you kept the photograph on your page. Whoopsie, is that not allowed? Should I not be showing people somebody else's product? Well, we sent that one to the manufacturer, so it's pretty much the same. You. And this is so sarcastic and friggin' stupid. Their customer, like, listen to the tone of this. If there are customers out there, and I'm going to read it as sort of neutral as I can. If there are customers out there who would rather buy 2 small pieces of metal and 6 screws for $75 from Canada that may well be hand milled in some machine shop near Detroit, that is totally fine with us. We are proud to be able to offer a similar solution at nearly 1/3 the price. If people want to buy a $500 handmade crokinole board or something very nice and high-end like Brown Castle produces, that is totally fine. And if people want to buy a carrying case such as yours for $85 rather than adding it onto their board for $60 on our Kickstarter too, that is fine too. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad that it's fine. I'm glad that we have the god of all board game producers, Seth Hyatt, the infallible god who knows everything to do with board games, my beautiful knockoff daddy who I go to for approval every time I need to buy something. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, daddy. Thank you. Yes, it's fine. Is it fine? It's fun. Oh, wow. I'm glad it's fun. I'm glad I have your approval. I'm glad I have your approval now. But throwing out words like counterfeit and ripped off to Crokinole boards and accessories for a game that's been around since the 1800s and that we've been producing as a value product for more than 12 years is a bit inflammatory. No, it's not. You know why? Because it's the exact same specifications. So if you take a same bag that is the exact same bag and it is just a knockoff of a bag and you've admitted to sending that bag and it being a knockoff, then I don't think it's inflammatory. I think it's accurate. Allegedly. But at least there's one little bit of truth that has come with Seth Hyatt's post. We know we don't really fit into the elite category of boards, and they probably never will. Yeah, I think this is exactly it. Hell, undercutting on price is the entire Mayday business model. You know what? I'll include this. Got to copy this link as well. Got to keep these up. I'll include these links in the description below as well, so you can continue to read. But we're going to move on. Yeah, I think it's hilarious that Mayday Games is coming to this thread swinging and just to make their company look so much worse. I'm good on you, Drew, for preserving it. We need to always preserve on the internet. I think that's pretty key. Old timers will remember that Mayday was created after Seth deleted his previous company after it was banned from doing business on eBay due to the volume of complaints for shady business practices. Also, the F rating it had received from the Better Business Bureau. Those were documented in old thread too, but you might have to use the Wayback Machine to find them. Yeah, it says the Mayday bag has an additional 2.3 millimeters of padding. That's over a nickel's thickness difference between the two. Is that substantial change? I guess everyone can decide for themselves. So to summarize, we have a shoulder strap placement that appears to essentially be the same, fractionally thicker padding, and different stitching informed by stress tests that we don't know anything about. It feels like the bag-making equivalent of copying another student's essay and just changing the wording in a few sentences to make it look different. And listen, I don't ever want to buy a Tracy board or a Browncastle board. I don't. To be fair, I don't want to buy a Mayday board, and it's not just for the Mayday reason. I don't want to buy a $100 Crokinole board. I just don't like Crokinole that much. I don't think the game's that fun. Sorry. But my point is that, for my purposes, as somebody, who's just kind of into the hobby, into the Crokinoling of it all, my parents have a board. My friends had a board that was just friggin' crappy plastic and flicking things. And that's for if you don't love Crokinole, that's good enough. There are so many other options that you can get without supporting Mayday games. There are just so many other options. In fact, what's great is the dearth of options, of affordable options out there. So you know what? Instead of a Mayday board, let's take a look at those. Oh, let's just look at Amazon. What's this? Canadian Tire has a set of a little 5-in-1 Crokinole board for $50? That seems fine. Home Hardware can give you a Crokinole board that's probably as good as Mayday. Actually, I tested it. I stress tested it. Allegedly, I stress tested it. And it's better. It's better. And it comes with backgammon on the back. So that's pretty good. For $70? Seems like it's cheaper than Mayday games. Crokinole Canada can give you for $130 Canadian, which is less than $99 US. You can get a Crokinole board for beginners from Crokinole Canada. Wow. So many affordable options that are better than Mayday games. And as far as I know, aren't run by a piece of shit. But you never know. They could be. What can you do? But at least we can take money out of one piece of shit's hands. Allegedly. And here I thought this week would be a little bit wouldn't be as large. Maybe I need to make that an entire video because I've been talking for 50 minutes. Oh well, let's get through the next little bit of it. Because here's the thing, I just can't stop. I have maintained so many times that I care about the consumers, that I care about your bottom line specifically. And if you have a Mayday Crokinole board, I don't want you to feel bad about it. You know? I want you to be able to enjoy your hobby. I don't want you to be able to think about this every time. But if you are part of this campaign, do literally anything else. And actually send me an email and I will do my best to find you a board that is comparatively the same. Actually, you're going to pay $150 with shipping, right? How much is shipping? We know it's $50. Shipping one board, $50. $65 to get to Canada, $80, right? So you're paying over $200 for this substandard board when you could be getting it anywhere else. So for $200 Canadian or less, I will find you an alternative. We've tried to get them one of ours, but no luck yet. Shut up and sit down. I should contact them because we've been in We've been in touch with WSPG. I should be like, yo, you guys need to do need to do a video on the Mayday board and just make it detailing all of Mayday's controversies. I should have put this in the previous weeks, but hey, share this video to your friends. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the Hunters AD 1492 2nd Edition and Borderlands expansion. The Hunters AD 1492 is a cooperative board game for 1 to 4 players. Become a hunter and face enemies in a Renaissance post-apocalyptic world. Sure. I thought of something else. I know a lot of this is like, this is just basically what Amazon does, or any Amazon ripping off Amazon, which I like more when things rip off Amazon, because I know Amazon rips off a whole bunch of stuff. Thus the cycle of life continues. But at least with like Amazon or stuff like that, when they steal things, and they do, and I know a lot of us have bought them, right? They haven't had a repeat pattern of just being like, well, they have, but like you don't know that the one person who made that crappy camera case that they took from somebody else, there isn't like an undeniable history and pattern of all the shitty things that they've done as a human being. And how many times they've done it over and over and over again. And so for me, when I find that out, and I hear all the stories, and I hear people keep coming into my inbox being like, yo, you're on the down low, like this also happened. I get it. Money is tight, but there are other options for lower quality Crokinole boards, is what I'm trying to say, that you can get from people who aren't just allegedly really crappy people. How many straws are enough straws? How many chances are enough chances? I'd like to think that I'm a very empathetic human being, and almost to my detriment, that I can see things from a lot of different people's perspectives. It comes with being an actor, right? If you're playing a villain, you have to find ways to empathize with the villain and to think about, no, what they are doing, they believe is right and justifiable and that sort of thing. And you have to love that character and enjoy being that person. So like, I get it. It's like literally part of my job. But like at a certain point, there are also those like toxic people that you should just cut out of your life. And unfortunately, Mayday Games is one of those people. Oh, and if you continue on this, apparently they've removed it from the Kickstarter campaign. That's why I couldn't find any reference of the other Brown Castle thing. Did he remove it from the goodness of his heart? I don't think so. On a personal note, I want to publicly apologize to Brown Castle for the similarity to our initial case design to theirs. It was just similar. Oops. All right. Hunters AD 1492 is a fully cooperative game which enables you to play solo or with a group of friends. Players become monster hunters. I thought it was going to be monster humans. Dang. Who participate in... I thought it was going to be Mayday. Wait. Oh, allegedly. Who participate in a complex and gripping campaign comprised of hundreds of events, road and town cards, and a tome of tales. The narrative presented on the cards and the book is full of stories, twists, and difficult decisions to make. I really like this breakdown, and we'll see as we go through. This feels like it's going to be very similar to the idea that The Witcher Legacy is going to be putting forward, but this just feels more straight and to the point right now. This is the 2nd edition of the game. You can get a fix pack. Again, 2nd edition for campaigns is great because you have these fix packs that are incorporated that they didn't have time to figure out in the first go. Oh, that's a sweet character design. I love that sort of like scratch tattoo concept. I think that's so cool. Ernst Bergman! Also very fun to say. Cool, this is nice. It's just got the app of what you can, how you can search things, interacting with people. Some fun story text about bribing someone to give you information for cheaper. That's fun. Okay, during the campaign, players execute quests. Each of them takes 30 to 60 minutes to play. It may take place during the day or at nighttime in various weather conditions. Each time, players must choose proper tactics and equipment matching current circumstances. Players may barter with local inhabitants, undertake various jobs, overcome unexpected obstacles, or expand their wagon in order to manufacture over 70 different types of equipment from resources found during the game. Upgrade your wagon, develop your hero, spend experience points to up your stats. Cool. Oh, craft equipment. I see you're putting grease and a rune onto your equipment. That's cool. Each equipment has like space for a modifier. That's very computer game like, and a bunch of it will be tactical missions. So again, like a lot of the main thing in a lot of these campaign games that at least keeps me coming back, it does for Iridia, is the combat, right? Like that's the main thing that I would be interested in. Did I cover this before? That's a good question. Yeah, that was back in episode 90. I thought so. Oh, it was when Endeavor Deep Sea came about. Sick. You know what? This has also gone down. It was 117 euros and it is 116 euros now. That's so funny to me. Great. So whenever you attack, you roll the amount of dice. If you ever roll ones, you can re-roll. So you add in the strength plus the number of successes that you've rolled minus the defense, and that's how much damage you do. Okay, so the cards that you're choosing are just your hand of cards that choose how many attacks you can do, some slight variations, you can do some re-rolls, etc. But seems pretty simple. You're going to have almost like a campaign-ish Zombicide. A little bit more in-depth than Zombicide, but it feels like a simple dice chucker, easy to check some dice, see if you succeed, read a bunch of text. Nothing about it is really jumping out to me to want to spend $192 plus shipping, but I think it's great that they're clearly doing a second campaign because the first one did well. They're doing a reprint. They're updating the fixes that they need to do. Shipping is €24, 28 to Canada. So again, a little like $220, $230 to get this, just the base game for me. But it's raised a ton of money, so a lot of people are enjoying it. That finishes on the 10th at 3 p.m. Not too much to talk about other than another narrative text. The attack feels pretty simple, and if you're playing solo, you're playing two characters at once, but again, with it being pretty simple dice rolls and dice modifiers with a hand of cards that you're choosing, I'm going to attack with this way or attack with that way, feels like it's pretty easy to take care of. Okay, we're going to move on to this one, which is Raft Bridge. Build a bridge across the lake by placing your raft strategically. Your goal is to be the first one to reach the goal token. Sure, this is just a little indie campaign. Oh, a ceramic one. Yeah, there's a ton of these like abstract ceramic games and ceramic tiles. It looks like you're going to be either green or blue, and you're going to want to create a path, and you're going to lay things down Carcassonne style. That's what I'm going to assume it is. Yeah, the water fairy uses the blue pawn, the forest fairy uses the green pawn, but I imagine it's going to be very expensive. Oh, fabric board and some ceramic tiles is going to be 26 Canadian. That's pretty good. Shipping, I'm sure, is expensive. Oh no, $8 US anywhere in the world. So if you like a little abstract puzzle where you're placing things down, where you're trying to get to the other side of the board and stop your opponent from getting there and blocking your opponent, that's the style of game that it is. Not too bad in terms of price. Not really a lot here gameplay-wise that would interest me, and it feels like I might be wrong with that connecting because the color pattern rules might be a little bit wrong. But that's pretty much what it is, even if I'm just intuiting what they're saying in Japanese. So yeah, if you're interested, that finishes Wednesday, December 10th at 8 p.m. Moving along, we got Small Seas, or Small Fishes, Seize the Booty, a strategic card game. I doubt it. Recruit a crew of pirate fish and outwit your rivals in a battle of bluff, strategy, and treasure for 2 to 6 players. I like bluff. Are you going to be surprising to me? I hope so. That would be nice if you were. Okay, a party card game where you draft pirate fish to hunt for treasure. Each fish has their own unique special effect that can turn the tide of battle. I'm going to need specifics how to play on this because there's potential here. I'm excited. There is potential. And they're using Outwit, Outplay, Outlast. I mean, come on. It's a Survivor tagline. Highest speed value goes first, and then the abilities will happen. There'll be some random encounters about what's happening, but you're basically bidding on treasure. This is just such a sketch, and I think there's potential here. Replenish your crew by going fishing. Okay. Battle for treasure. The stronger team wins. Okay, so it's a total score of your numbers, but they all have different abilities. That could be interesting. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Mind Bug. Oh, full rulebook. Thank God. I was going to be very sad if there wasn't one. Okay, so the phase is going to be revealed. It's going to be either a treasure phase where you battle, or it's going to be an encountered phase when something random happens, like the captain sea can move. That makes sense. Everybody chooses if they're going to fight or if they're going to fish. So you can be like, listen, I'm out of the battle. I'm going to let everybody else waste their resources. I'm going to get more additional resources. Yeah, I like that as a choice. Cool. Oh, this makes me happy. You can get coins. Oh, but you always get to fish, even if you're hunting. I love that as well. You can get coins and then you use your coins to pay for random cards. I think this looks great. Each hunting player plays all the fishes that they want face down. Then you reveal them. Then you activate them with their different speed. You reveal all the fish so you see what's going to happen. Then you can take each other out. Cool. The eel reduces a fish's power by 1. Then you use the whale shark to remove all fish with a power of 1. I think this looks great. How much are you? Be a good price. 25. 25. You know, I prefer 20, but 25 feels reasonable for a little party game. 35 Canadian, and then shipping is going to be, you know, at least 15 for me, right? So it's going to be 50. Oh, where's the ship? Is it shipping is in here? Canada, 10 to 15. See, when you do an estimate, it doesn't calculate it. So it could be about $50 to get this game. I think that's a little bit expensive for me, but 25 feels reasonable. I think it looks pretty solid. I think it's going to be a fun idea of figuring out what people are doing. If you like Mindbug, this is a party version of Mindbug. It feels like that. That finishes Thursday, December 11th at 5:56 a.m. That's great. I really thought this was going to be horrible. I really thought it was going to be a whole bunch of horrible. Like, I think this is going to be horrible, War Penguins, but I think Small Fishes seems quite nice. I think there's the potential for a lot of interaction there, and that's quite exciting. All right, but let's see what War Penguins is. Maybe it'll be good. Who knows? Maybe this will just be a very exciting week. I don't have faith, but we're going to find out. War Penguins, the card game. Defend your igloo, attack players' bases, and secure victory in the strategic game of Penguin Chaos. See, anytime there's chaos, I don't think it's going to be for me, but we'll see. Well, it's not as bad as I expected it to be, but I do think this is just sort of draw random cards and see what happens. Very Munchkin-esque, I guess, because you have attack cards and defense cards. You can draw attack cards, you can draw defense cards, but the attacks can be like, hey, deal 1 damage or destroy all the defense. And so when you have such a strong variability of attack power and defense power, it's like the Uno Reverso card is in there, you know? It's just a bit of who draws those cards wins. And so there isn't really any strategy, I find, and so there isn't any real interest from me, but $20 if you want a zany game where you play a bunch of attacks and defenses and see who wins. It doesn't really look interesting probably to anybody who watches this channel, but that finishes Thursday, December 11th at 9 a.m. We're going to move on to this one. We're not covering this. I just thought it was Ready, Faith, Quiz! Islam Edition. I don't know if there's been a funnier title to grace the hallowed halls of Crowdfunding Countdown other than this title right now. Ready? Faith? Quit. You get it's about faith, right? But don't worry, we have the Islam Edition where you can really test if you're a good Islamic person or not. Are you a good Arab? I certainly am not. And I'm a quarter Lebanese. We're also not going to cover this. This is just the role-playing game for D&D 5e, which I'm going to include in the links. But Studio Midhall has gorgeous art. I think the art for Beast is awesome. I really was let down by Beast itself, but I quite enjoyed Holopact. I think Holopact was good. I thought it was a bit expensive for what it was, but I significantly enjoyed it a lot more than Beast. And anything that has Deborah Ann Wool on the campaign page instantly makes me interested. So if you're interested in having a role-playing game that is in the world of Beast, which I think the art in Beast is so good, so fantastic, you can check that out also. And if you're not, then you should just call the doctor! Every cut has a consequence. Step into the role of a surgeon in a unique print-and-play game. Sure. It's raised a lot for print and play, so let's check this out. Perform diverse surgeries in a realistic setting. So this is another print and play from Radek Ignatov. I remember Monster Kill looking interesting. I remember he did the cat one, right? Yeah, Roll and Meow, the cat burglars. I remember that one looking interesting. I've heard good things about his print and play, so now it is less shocking to me that they're doing so well. Consulted with a bunch of surgeons and anesthesiologists. Relive the trauma center experience on your tabletop. Yeah, I love this disclaimer as well. If you're a medical professional, please remember that this is a board game with many significant simplifications compared to real-life medicine. It's just a game, not a serious training simulator, and player enjoyment always takes priority. I'd really love to hear your feedback and suggestions. Smiley face. The nicest disclaimer in the land. Your job is to perform various surgical operations. You have to perform the operation before you run out of time points and anesthetic gas. Your primary task is to anesthetize the patient to the proper level so you can proceed with the operation. Hey, you asleep? Ah! No, I'm so sorry. When administering drugs throughout the game, you must consider the impact on the patient's attributes. Roll 6 die. Draw a new diagnostic card. You can discard any dice to stop all ongoing bleedings. Ah! They're bleeding everywhere! Doctor, throw the dice out the window. What? Just do it! Oh, phew. Okay, that bought us some time. Cross off the next space on the sedation track. That's the upkeep, and then you use your dice pool to do stuff. Okay, so you're trying to balance all these different tracks. That's great. So for the World Series of Board Gaming, which I'm still involved with, don't worry. I've been putting the Roxley team in touch with anybody who's made final tables at Brass Birmingham, just to join their playtesting and get some playtesting in for Pittsburgh so that they're testing Pittsburgh with some of the best brass players in the world, which I think is great. I just got a little message saying like, oh, I had so much fun. I'm stoked for Pittsburgh, man. Oh, all the changes that they talked about sound so good. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that later when we get closer to the time. So it's just a bunch of tug of war tracks, really keeping that balance in between. Sky Team tug of war, let's say, because you want to maintain that perfect balance on your patients. You're going to use your dice to use medications, which basically move you up and down these tracks. And then the body will have an effect. You got to cross off certain things. Cool. So you're crossing off different symbols as well, which will affect blood pressure and managing these different things. Cool. Yeah, this seems great. Really trying to balance using your dice to move your tracks up and down and balance a bunch of tracks all at the same time is essentially what it comes down to. €6, 10 bucks Canadian for this as a print and play. Or if you want all the scenarios, you can spend €11, 18 bucks Canadian. It's getting up there. But I mean, to be fair, this is his 11th and all of them have done pretty well, making a cool 10,000 Canadian off of this. I think that's friggin' awesome. That finishes Thursday, December 11th at 4 p.m. Hope people enjoy that one. Next up, we've got Eternitium, Race Through Time, this unique deck building game, race through time to find the Eternitium gem that will grant you eternal life. Okay, yeah, it seems like a very simple deck builder, a little bit of take that elements to it because there's some swapping. Every card that you have is going to have a symbol. You got to play that symbol to get rid of it. First person to get rid of all your cards wins. But whenever you get new cards, you have to add new cards to your pool of cards that you're trying to get rid of, right? Your blitz pile, if you will. These cards can do different things. They'll have different symbols on them. They can swap cards with somebody else. So when you haven't revealed your card, because you have to reveal every single card as well, you do the reveal step and then you can like buy it off. You could swap something out. That's what they were saying in the video just now, is you can swap a face down card for a face up card and you can increase your tempo in that way. It doesn't seem, it's nice they got the rules on the page, but I feel like that was a really great video and I got a great sense of it, of what everything costs. Very quick to grasp and very quick to see if it will be for you. It doesn't really seem like it is for me. They're adding in additional technology cards, which will give you additional swaps and additional stuff like that. I don't really think that the gameplay itself is going to be that interesting. But it's nice, you know, Europe, France, you can get €3 shipping, so that's pretty good. I don't know where the base game, the complete experience is €45, which I wouldn't want. How much is just the base game, I wonder? It doesn't even feel like you can get the base game, so we're going to call the base game being €45 then. Expansions are super cheap anyway, right? So even with these expansions, you knock off maybe €10. I wouldn't get it for that. It seems like it could be fun, but there are just so many other deck building games that are exciting to me that this won't have as many cool combos as something else will. And this is no shade, but it kind of feels like if Skip-Bo was turned into a deck building game, because there's an order in which you're hoping for these symbols to come up so that you can get rid of them, so you can do more things, etc. But if you're interested, check it out. The finish is on the 11th at 4 p.m. I just clicked on this as well. This is Art Pieces Jigsaw Puzzles. It's a premium jigsaw puzzle series. And I mean, these art pieces are friggin' bomb. They're so cool. They're gorgeous. I don't think I want the complete collection, but if I wanted one, how much does it cost? €24? 40 bucks? I don't know. A cool puzzle will cost you like 20 if it's like a Ravensburger puzzle, so you're doubling it, but 1,000 pieces. They're really cool though. Comes in April 2026. I could contemplate that. 40. How much is shipping? That's the question. They'll be shipped from the EU. Let's see, estimated shipping costs when it loads. Rest of the world, 19 for one puzzle. Dang, so it kind of doubles the price for me, right? Because it's 24, yeah. So it'd be about $70 to get one of these. I don't think I'm in it for that much, but I think they look cool. So if you live in the EU and you're looking for a cool design of a puzzle, I think it's a really neat campaign. I figured I'd include it. We got this one. I told you I was scraping the bottom of the barrel. I just like to see what it just can't be good, right? Oh, Race to the Ark was the other thing, was just the Candyland game. And so now there's a push your luck of a Candyland aspect. We're not going to cover it, but hey, it's as good as Funny Market. All right, next up, we've got Dragonarium. Breathe life into your dragons and nest them to interweave territories types in this innovative tile placement game for 1 to 4 players. Okay, it seems kind of neat. It's like Acropolis, which has you building different terrain with different scoring conditions, and you're building it up and you're multiplying like the group of terrain times the height, was mixed with some action selection where you are then spawning different dragons to be put out onto the board. Potentially kind of neat. $40, 56 Canadian. I don't understand how Kavre hasn't blown up. Like, their how to plays are the best, I think, in the business. They really are. If you learn well through videos, anytime I watch one of their videos, I think they do such a good job. I can only assume it's homophobia. No, I can't. Everybody in the board game, that's the best part about being in the board gaming hobby, is that, like, for the most part, it's a pretty diverse group because we're all friggin' nerds and know what it's like to, like, not find our people and then find our people. When placing a tile on top of a readied egg, the dragon hatches and nests onto any square. That square is now both in its original territory and that of the dragon. So you can use the power of the dragon. So it's a water dragon and it's a fire dragon. So it's basically both. And you can use that, I see. You use that just to connect your scoring tiles. Okay, that's neat. After 12 rounds, you score all the connected scenarios. Yeah, $40, 56 Canadian. That feels really nice. I mean, what's shipping gonna be? They're subsidizing it by $4. So $12 to the US, 15 to Canada. So 52 to get to the US, 55 US, so 70 to get to Canada. Expensive for a tile laying game, but it's Kickstarter and this is a new thing. I think this looks solid. That finishes Thursday, December 11th at 11:59 p.m. if you're interested. Moving along to Brawlhalla. How's Brawlhalla doing now? I need to reload this. Zach and I did a paid playthrough for Brawlhalla, and it might be my favorite paid playthrough that we've done. My favorite playthrough that we've done. We always try to do something stupid with the playthroughs, and one of the reasons why, like, I feel okay charging for the paid playthrough or making a paid playthrough is then I can be like, okay, well, I'm getting paid for this rather than the no money that YouTube generally gives me. So I can do something stupid with it. So we took our day, we filmed little cutscenes, and then I can spend more time editing it and just making it really stupid. And I think this is one of our stupider ones. And it's great. It often with a simpler game, we're able to do a stupider playthrough. And this was that. It's a very simple game, Brawlhalla, very quick. I think Zach and I were talking about it a little bit afterwards, and we think that the free-for-all might be better than the two-player version just because there's more chaos and more things are happening. You have to balance your card play. Basically, you can draw cards or you can play cards for light attacks, or if you have your weapon, you can do heavy attacks. Heavy attacks, you can knock opponents off of the stage and make them take damage. Light attacks, you're playing one card after the other and sort of dwindling down each other's stack. And so in a free-for-all, you would have more people and more danger of like, yeah, I want to dwindle down your stack, but I know Buddy over there is right behind me with friggin' 6 cards. So if I spend all that time punching you, then he can hammer me with those cards. And I think like that's the benefit that you're going to get from playing it with a free-for-all. In a two-player, you're sort of just anticipating each other's movements and trying to play with that. You shouldn't do the $199 choice. That seems insane, but the fact that it's $29 for this simple little card game, I think that's exactly the right price for it. You know, I'm actually very surprised it's $29. I imagined it was going to be like $39 and adding in a bunch of stuff, but $29 feels very reasonable for what this is. It's a very quick game. You're going to be throwing cards down. I don't know if I would keep it in my personal collection in terms of like a two-player head-to-head game. It is pretty lightweight, and I like my lighter games to be more on the larger scale of number sides. And then like when I have 2 players, I'm usually just playing with Zach. So I like to play something a little bit heavier and a little bit more in depth, but it's a fun enough diversion. There isn't really that much more to say about it. If you watch the playthrough, you'll get a sensation of how the game plays and you'll be able to decide if that's good for you or if it isn't. And that's also why we didn't do a final thoughts video, because we were like, oh, we kind of just shared all of our thoughts at the very end. It's very, what you see is what you get. That's the flow. It just is if you like that flow or not. For me, it was definitely fun to do this with Zach, but I also am like, I try to balance my own expectations, because a lot of the fun was because we had a lot of friggin' fun making the video and just being stupid with it. I think tactically, I'd be interested to see how it goes and how all the other characters develop. I think tactically there were a few balance issues. I think my character was just a little bit more overpowered than Zach's when we were playing it. And sometimes it feels a little bit like, okay, I'm just waiting for you to make the first move. Whoever makes the first move is going to be in a worse position. And so like tactically, I feel like it has that hurdle to or leap, but if it can get over that, there's potential there. That finishes Friday, December 12th at 4 p.m. Well, just briefly, I always like to shout out other creators. I've never listened to the Secret Cabal Gaming podcast, but I've heard of it, and apparently people like it. So if you wanted to support them, I mean, they made $80,000. That's amazing. That would be more than I could ever hope of making in a year. That's sweet. They make over 100 hours of board gaming content. I don't know what my hours are. I think I'm at maybe 300 hours for the year if you've watched it all, because like on average I do 3 videos a week. Also, I guess that's 150 videos. I guess my videos are on average an hour, right? Some are more, some are less. So 150 hours. That's a lot of content that they're producing as well. So if you like podcasts, check it out. I also figured I would shout this out just because it's another different sleeve company. They haven't hit their goal. They have 7 days to go. Paladin Sleeves have been around for a long time, and people have talked about enjoying Paladin Sleeves, so I figured I'd mention them because they're not Sleeve King. So we're going to move on to this one. Chants for the Old One, the Eye of Dagon and New Order's Reckoning. This is a new edition for Chants from the Old One. Brings the cult to a whole new level. Discover the Eye of Dagon, an expansion filled with deep ones, hybrids, and lurking creatures beneath the reef. Unlock unique powers in the new orders, where asymmetric cults pursue their own sinister goals. Experience the fully revised and enhanced second edition of the core game with upgraded components and refined mechanics. So a couple new expansions for this buddy. I don't know if I've ever covered Chants for the Old One before. I should look that up. It kind of looks familiar. Chants for the Old. We'll just go for Chants for the Old. Yeah, was it? Did we cover it? Chants for the Old One, episode 109. I thought so. Oh, sick. This is Tycoon India 1981. That arrived recently. Okay, I remember it from Chris of the Past. I forgot that this was deck building, but now I remember as well. So the Dagon, it just replaces the center board, which used to be a different board. So it's just a big different boss that you need to deal with for the invocation. Oh, cool. So whenever Dagon turns, Dagon's looking at a certain spot on the board. If you do that, you move on Dagon's track. Make offerings to the Old One. Progress towards the level required by your secret goal. Because you have to get to a certain amount of victory points, right? That's your secret goal. They're like cultist points or whatever they're called. Who doesn't love asymmetric factions? 4 developed factions. Sick. There's just a bunch of variability. That's sweet. €69 for it. Core game is €60. You can get an upgrade kit again because the second edition is always better. They don't have the main rulebook on the board. No, it's just the Dagon rulebook. Okay. A bit annoying they don't have the main rulebook on the board to refresh, but it was a very simple thing. You know, you play a card or you put a worker down. That's it. The workers will give you different things. Kind of a simple deck builder with a fun Cthulhu theme. I think this Eye of Dagon mechanic looks interesting in that I like that you are then incentivized to choose different sections of the board to do actions in. I think that's neat, especially neat in theory for worker placement game, because then you are rushing to those spots because you will get additional bonuses based upon your own little track. I don't think it looks bad. It's just like $100 for the original plus shipping is not really something I'm interested in. 130. I remember being like a sort of a just fine way back when, and then adding this stuff in. I think these expansions both look quite interesting and will probably up level the game if you like it. If you are an original backer for Chants of the Old Ones and you really enjoy the game, I think definitely take a look at these two. They both look like they will give you more excitement, more variability, more asymmetry of what you already have. If you are a new backer and you're like, oh, I need everything Cthulhu, well, you don't really. And I think this looks just fine. So it finishes on the 12th at 5 p.m. Next up, we've got Rat Hiders, a silly party card game about hiding rats. The Nevermore, was there a higher candidate for Pick for Me? Was there? No, there isn't. What is this? It's gotta be horrible, but they're wearing rat masks, so it's gotta be amazing, you know? I take it back. It's got to be the best thing. Yeah, a video about 3 people sitting at a weird table in the middle of a desert chanting, find the rats, it is bad to have the rats. Come on. If you need your day brightened.
World of rat hide. You go, I wish I could hide rats.
I don't know why this guy isn't dressed like a rat. Okay, it's just old maid, right? Oh no, hide the rats by any means. The player with the most rats in their hand at the end of the game wins. If it's by any means, it better be by any means. Like if it's, you have to hide them in your shirt, in your pants. I'm in if that's the game. Intended for 4 to 6 players. Deal 5 cards. Rats must be hidden. Rats may not be discarded at any time. If one is found, it must be shuffled back into the draw pile. Never admit that you've had or have ever had a rat. Yes, not a rats. You can discard 2 of the same not a rats on your turn. Why? You want more cards in your hand. You can either choose a player to trade hands with, or skip the risky rat pass. Draw until you have 5 cards after that. Okay. It's old maid with like switching hands. Rat snack cards are activated when somebody discarded during a risky rat phase. Show me your cheese. When discarded, you can choose a player who you suspect is cheating. If they are, they must pull out their hidden rats and dance while chanting, I'm a cheater, I'm a cheater, I'm a dirty little cheater. I'm a cheater, I'm a cheater, I'm a dirty little cheater. I don't know. No. I hate this. If you can't tell me that I have hidden rats in every orifice of my body, then you don't deserve to have my rats, okay? If you don't love me at my worst, you'll never love me at my rats. Yeah, accuse one player of hiding rats in their hand. No. I think it should just be a bunch of card games where you can hide the rats no matter what. People have to find you hiding rats. And you have a certain number of cards in your hand, and then if people are counting that you don't have those cards in your hand, they say, oh, you've hidden a rat. And you say, no, I haven't. That's a better game. At the end of the game, players will reveal their 5-card hand while chanting, here are my rats, here are my rats, I have so many rats. Player with the most rats wins. Rats not in a 5-card hand are not counted. Spotting the wrong number of cards in their hand, seeing one hidden on their person. So yeah, you're allowed to cheat. I like that you're allowed to cheat. $20. No, make it 10. It's 52 cards. And does it have shipping information on the page? Oh, it does. How much is it going to be to ship to Canada? $18. Okay. So it'd be $54 to get this deck of cards to my door, which is unfortunately way too much money for what this game can bring. There are some funny ideas here. Again, the only good part about Cosmic Encounters, if you're playing with the Filch, and the Filch can cheat however they want. Only good thing. So that if this sort of captures that spirit, I'm in. But yeah, it's a bit too expensive. The finish is Friday, December 12th at 5:10 p.m. And finally, I think this is going to be finally, but we're going to see, we have Paragliders, a board game where you impersonate a paraglider, navigating to reach 3 antennas and racing to land onto the central target. Now, I want you to pay close attention to the language here. You are not a paraglider. This is a board game where you are impersonating a paraglider. So I can only assume that you are running off a cliff and going, ooh, but you don't have the necessary equipment for paragliding. That is the only logical conclusion I can make. And it's the person who does the best impression, the best impersonation of a paraglider that's going to win. Now, it's going to be very hard to navigate to your 3 antennas, but if you believe enough, you can impersonate that paraglider and you can soar on the wind. I assume it's just like a little route planning game with a little bit of pick up and deliver, but let's see. That's kind of fun. Modular board. You're managing your altitude, which seems neat that you can move quicker if you sacrifice some of your altitude. Use it wisely to win the race. So what's the race? You just have to land on the... Oh no, you have to get to the antennas. So you want to get to the antenna as soon as possible. You score a number of points based around when you hit that antenna. You want to collect landmarks, GPS locations, a bunch of different stuff that you have to run around and collect, all while managing that central altitude, planning your routes effectively. There are skill move cards that you can get, and stunt cards. Okay. There's some movement restrictions because you can only glide like your best hang glider impersonation. If you went backwards, well, then you wouldn't be impersonating a hang glider, a paraglider now, would you? Seems pretty simple. Otherwise, there are just a lot of rules for movement, and you're going to be adjusting your altitude as much as you can, using these heat clouds to sort of sail up so that you can like dive bomb into other positions. I don't think it's really that interesting to me because I'm not a paraglider. But maybe if I was a paraglider, I would really enjoy it because it just seems like it's grounded in moving the altitude, soaring above, getting to a place. If you like route planning games, that's also what this is. It comes to 63 Canadian plus an additional, it'd be like $90 to get this game. Certainly am not excited about this to that degree, but if you're a paraglider, check it out. The finish is Saturday, December 13th at 8:04 a.m. I'm not going to cover this, but I'll leave the links down below. There's a new CCG, it's Wonderland Zero Gravity Singularity CCG, which just seems like another thing that's exactly the same as, but is looking forward to grabbing your FOMO and interest in getting rarities. I have the intro Battle to Hoth from Star Wars Unlimited that I'm looking forward to trying out and seeing if that like looks interesting as a separate standard set. And then they also sent me a booster box of something, which I don't quite know what to do with in terms of like video content. So if you want to know Star Wars Unlimited content or video content, I don't know, my buddy Reed wants to film something with me. I was probably just going to open the packs and be like, hey, These are your chances to do rarity, and then just give them all to read. But I don't know. CCGs and we don't really have a good relationship, and I don't ever think they're really worth investing. I think there are a lot of great games that have great gameplay in the box and doesn't make you purchase random things hoping to get that great and exciting gameplay. I don't know why we have to turn it into gambling. Although there was that one campaign that was basically gambling if you backed that I got really excited about, and so I get the gambling sensation. Maybe because I know I really like gambling and I can't get into it. I don't know. I don't like CCGs. Also, finishing on Tuesday will be The Witcher, but I'm going to wait until next week, next week's Crowdfunding Countdown, to check out The Witcher, because I want to see what they've added. I want to see if anything's changed. They can do a bunch of updates. It's raised a ton of money, but it's fairly recently I did the 5 reasons you shouldn't back, and so I want to take another look to see if they've shown anything additional and can shift more things around that. Now, I pulled up these tabs earlier, so I'm just going to go through and check out if there's anything that I missed, but I don't think there is. That's the downside of doing this a little bit earlier and trying to set things a little bit earlier, is that some things you miss. Some things you miss, and some things like don't launch. Like when I got my tabs open, the Everdell campaign hadn't launched yet. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Like this hasn't launched yet. Oh my goodness, and I'm glad I didn't miss it. Queen Games, are you the savior that I want? Queen Crokinole? How much is the Queen Crokinole? $40 for a go-to Crokinole Deluxe? Queen Games, I'm with you. I love you. Queen Games was like really crappy to their backers when they did the Steffenfeld City series. And I don't think any of their stuff is ever a good value. But you know what is a good value? Their Crokinole board right here. It is a significantly better value than Mayday Games. And I'm so happy that this thing exists. Oh man, it's so funny to me. Yeah, get that. Anybody who's purchasing a Mayday Games, please go and get this from Queen Games. 100%. Highly recommend it. Like, there's this trivia game that I don't really care to click on. I don't think I've missed much. There's the Wonderland thing. So yeah, let's see. I think that's pretty good. I think I didn't miss too much that launched. And then so next week we'll cover The Witcher Legacy. I'll have more thoughts to share about Everdell Emerald, because in more than just my first initial thoughts, they're still pretty much the same, still pretty high on it. But I'll share more what Zach didn't like about it, which is just like the bag pulling, and see what they've added and go through their different campaigns. And so there will be some stuff in that's finishing like the first week of January. So next week will be the last week of Crowdfunding Countdown for the year, and we'll cover a bunch of that stuff, and we'll leave that to be excited about it. But for now, let's go through, and before we do the pick for me and the pick for you, pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting mechanically, and the pick for you being the thing I think if you get, you would regret it the least. Let's do a little bit of a grunt down to remind ourselves about what came before. Bleh. Anything else worse than the $1 pre-pledge? Meh. Nah. Yeah. No. Mashallah. Yeah. No. Cool. No. Yeah. Content. Sleeves. Meh. No. Nah. No. Yeah. And next week. All right. So I think there's 2 in there. I think there are 2 in there. I think the pick for me is going to be legit Small Fishes. I think it's enough of a mind bug party game style thing. I like mind bug fine enough. I think I like the idea of choosing when to hunt and when to fish. I think that's the thing that's going to make it really sing for me. And just getting random cards, trying to get the most treasure. I think this looks solid. Definitely looks solid for me. So that's a pick for me. And then the pick for you, I think is going to be Dragonarium if you live in a place where it's like decent shipping. $40 doesn't seem that bad. And the Tilelang, if you like Acropolis and you like those sort of Tilelang things, seems like another level to Acropolis. Some fun pieces, a decent theme. Horrible points about it. I think this is going to be a solid like 7. It's a 3.5 style game. You know what I mean? But like, it's the best, kind of the best of the bunch this week. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the week. So not really a big week other than my tirade at the beginning, which, hey, I hope that gave you some joy. My anger, hopefully that was entertaining for you all. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking around. As always, thanks always to everybody who supports the channel. You're great. I really appreciate you all. I have made some really, really wonderful friends through this channel. And I think that's awesome. I think you're all too generous. The Patreon community is insanely generous. It's stupidly generous, and you need to stop. I know it's the opposite of what I need to be saying, but like, cut it out. You're all awesome. And I really, really appreciate it. I hope that I can continue to provide value to you all, and hopefully make your days just a little bit more fun hanging out and talking about our favorite stuff. So yeah, I just really appreciate you all, and this one, it's nice to like know that the majority of the people who are involved in the board gaming hobby are genuine cool people. You get the outliers, right? But I feel so special and so blessed to have gotten to connect with such an amazing group of people who I love very dearly. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to next week's Crowdfunding Countdown. Once again, I'm Chris George, and I don't have a catchphrase, but I do have a show to do. We're opening A Christmas Carol right now in Morrisburg, so off to opening night. Ooh, I want to show you all what I got. I'm so mad. So I got to keep my voice down. I think Jeff's leaving. Okay, I'm back to you. Yeah. So I got this thing, this stupid thing. It's a T-Rex snow globe. It was like $18, but I got on the Giant Tiger Friends and Family of $14. I'm gonna give it to Jeff, who's in the show with me, because he was like, "These are so funny, they're so cool." Like, oh, but I can't justify spending $18 on something so stupid. And I made sure he didn't buy it, and I went out and I bought it. And friggin' Sean, who's our technical director, also bought it for Jeff and gave it to him the other day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little wig for him. And it's not a him, you sexist. It'll be a woman. Or maybe it's a him. Who knows? Maybe Rexmas. His other one's called Rexmas. So I don't know what we're gonna call this buddy. But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to share how like friggin' stupid and silly this thing is. And I'm so mad because I was so excited to give it to him for opening. But I'm still excited to give it to him for opening. That's it. This is what your Patreon dollars go to, people. I can't keep it for myself. I gotta spread the Christmas cheer.